Good morning. It is June 12th, 2025. We're going to talk about the real estate market. All I can say is that uncertainty abounds. We have tariffs, we have the big, beautiful bill, we have ICE protests, federal employees getting laid off, property tax increase, insurance increases, interest rates, affordability, supply, recession fears, commercial real estate vacancies, global instability, shadow inventory, condominium regulations, exploding condo fees, investor pullback, money supply, and more. How do we analyze the real estate markets? The same way we analyze everything. In real estate, it's prices, inventory, comparables, days on the market, sales price per square foot, location, characteristics, year built. The stock market is a good example of how we measure anything. I mean, we do it based on prices, we do it based on what has happened, and we try to extrapolate what's going to happen in the future. Fantasy football, fantasy sports, they give you those statistics based on last week and the week before. And what we don't want to do in real estate is analyze the market by the actives. Zillow does not tell you what's going on. Zillow gives you the active prices of the active overpriced dreams of sellers who have a deep desire to sell their property at the prices they could have got last year or last week, but what is going on today? To analyze the market, we have to look at the pendings and the solds in real estate. Pendings will give us the action for the most recent last few days, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. And all we can do is look at the days on market and the list price per square feet. Now, solds tell us what happened 2 to 6 weeks ago, or a week ago, or 3 days ago if they closed it that quickly. And that information is readily available. And here we can see the discount or the premium to the asking price, the days on market, the sales price per square foot. Obviously, we know the location when we're doing the analysis. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump into MLS, and we're going to look at some of the recent action in, let's do 3 counties. We'll do Pasco, Hillsborough, and Pinellas. Right now in Pasco County, let's just do the overall market first. There are 4,647 active listings in Pasco County. You can't see me for some reason. I'm not in the screen, but down here in the left-hand corner, it says 4,647. If we look at the pendings, there's 200, excuse me, that's the 7-day pendings. Let's do all the pendings. There are 1,760 pending transactions, and that's a good number. For comparison, after Helene and Milton, prior to the election, pendings went down to as low as around 1,000. Scary number. And let's do the 30-day solds by doing -7 -37. And we'll get a true 30-day period. It's 1,566. So taken together, we see that we're selling 1,566 properties with an inventory of 4,647 properties. Now, this doesn't tell us what's going on in the immediate past. So let's look at the 7-day listings. In the last 7 days, there have been 375 listings listed. In the last 7 days, 287 properties went pending. And in the last 7 days, we have, let's do the 7-day solds, which is not a good number because it takes 2 or 3 or 4 days to get the sold. So let's do -7 -14, and that'll give us a good 7-day solds. Now that's a much bigger number, 627 properties. So if we take the pendings and the solds for 2, not exactly 7-day periods, it's 914 properties went under contract for the 7 days starting 7 days ago, and the pendings over the last 7 days. And during that period, we have listed 375 new properties. This is a great, great trend. So let's take a look at Hillsborough County and do the same exercise. In Hillsborough County, in the last 7 days, or actually, let's start off with the raw numbers. So there are over 5,000 listings, I think, in Hillsborough County, and there are. So we don't get the exact number. We do know that there are 428. Wow, that's a that's the 7-day pendings. Okay, there are. I was going to say that number is way too low. There are 2,636 pendings in Hillsborough County, and the solds, the 7-day solds are 834. That's fantastic. Um, so putting them together, we had 1,261 properties over these 2 weeks that have gone pending or have sold. And this is something that we don't look at on a daily basis. And when we do, it's much more reassuring. And in a second, I'm going to go into a specific criteria and talk about it. In Pinellas County, and during this same period, we had 1,082 properties, and I think the actives in Pinellas are below 5,000. No, the actives are over 5,000. So we can't look at that raw data without me doing a little more, but which I'm not going to do right now because for time purposes. So what we're going to do is we're going to go and look at a specific criteria. So if you're looking, let's say in Clearwater right now, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 2-car garage is the, I don't want to call it the minimum, but it's the classic. 322 is the classic property for analysis. 6 new listings came out in Clearwater in the last 7 days. 7 properties have gone pending, and during that 7 days, we have 24 properties that have sold. Let's look at the solds, because if we're going to do an analysis, we need to look at what it was, what they were asking for, and how long it took. This one took 3 days to sell for $345,000. This was the cheapest home sold during this criteria. $389,000 sold in 10 days for $375,000. Now, this is a villa, and I probably should have pulled out the villas, the over 55s, but we only have 25 properties to look at. 440,000 sold for 393,000 in 17 days, or at least 17 days to go under contract. $409,000 sold for $403,000 in 18 days. $419,000 sold for $405,000 in 17 days. $407,000 sold for $416,000 over the asking price in 2 days. $435,000 sold for $427,000 in 9 days. $465,000 sold for $430,000 in 86 days. Now, this one has a monthly fee of or an annual fee of $200. Hard to understand why that one took so long. It might have been conditioned. We didn't look at the inside. $475,000 sold for $455,000 in 52 days. $475,000 sold for $460,000 in 21 days. So I cheated. I knew this is a hot criteria, and I knew that these numbers are very strong. But let's say you were buying in Clearwater. Well, let's take out the 55 and older. Let's take out the condos. Let's just do single family homes. Single family homes, 71. Let's get rid of the housing for older people. Brings us down to 70. If I were shopping for you and you were my customer, we would not be looking at flood zones. So let's say there's 51 properties here to look at. We have 319,000 been on the market for 3 days. I can imagine the multiple offers and highest and best on that one. Envoy, $330,000. This home has some issues, some settlement issues, a bad roof, all kinds of reasons why that one's cheap. $358,000. It's been on the market for 42 days. $399,999 in 44 days. I would put that at $400,000. Let's face it, anyone shopping is going to shop $350 to $400, and someone might be shopping $400 to $500 or $400 to $450. It comes up on both lists. So those weird, gasoline prices, 0.99, so they don't make sense in the way that people shop for real estate. $410,000 in 105 days. Now, the rule of thumb is that anything that's a good deal sold in the first week or 10 days. So there's a reason why these all 168 days on the market in 1953 house. It is over a quarter of an acre. I'm sure they're adding a premium for that. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump back into our discussion here, and we're going to talk about motivation. If your objectives are that you're renting and you want to buy, then buy. It's going to be likely be cheaper to buy than it will be to rent your monthly payment anyway. Are you investing? Only buy when the deal is so good you can't help yourself. I mean, that's my rule of thumb. When I can't help myself and there's an investment out there and I have to have it, I have to have it. What I do want to remind you is that everyone in 2020 wished they had bought in 2015. Now it's 2025 and everybody wished they bought in 2020. Of course, we've had sharp increases since 2020. So let's talk about inflation. A loaf of bread was $1. Now you guys saw bread for $4 in Publix. What's the cost of a 2x4 of lumber today versus 10 years? Actually, the cost of 2x4s is actually down from when during COVID when it spiked up another, I don't know, 40% more than where we are right now. Can you analyze the value of a home based on the raw materials? How many 2x4s are in a home? Probably not, because the newer homes have better construction and they have better technology. But if you're looking at 1970s or 1980s homes, well, you want to be kind of careful because there are some issues there that older homes have that newer homes you would think don't have. So let's talk about the Central Florida market. There's so many different criteria. We just went through the 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage. When you look at a 322 pool home, you cannot analyze it against the 211s. Of course, Clearwater doesn't compare to Hudson. Premium neighborhoods can't be compared to rural dirt roads. So we have to stay within our criteria. And in conclusion, each criteria must be compared to its own criteria. The demand and prices for a criteria have its own characteristics. The value of real estate today will only be will only be determined in hindsight. I'm Randy Jenkins. I wish I could wave to you, but for some reason I'm not there. I wish you the best. If you have any interest in analyzing a particular criteria, reach out to me. I can do a video for you on that criteria. I will put it on my YouTube and Facebook as content, and I appreciate the ideas that you might bring to me where I can share it with my audience. Have a great day.